He's an opportunity now. Beaulo winning the engagement, though, unleashing the Deagle to secure the kill.
A very interesting take. They can use the smoke grenades to maybe work a pick through onto the top of Spiral. Long Desk is here. It'll be J90 trying to meet them with a crossfire and Benja.
Fire arrows going out, and there's another smoke tossed by Beaulo. It will isolate anybody playing over by that soda machine. Benja hears the sounds, but Beaulo through the smoke gets him before the nitro cell can be detonated. The explosive gets sent out. Nothing to be found. Opening pick for DZ comes with just a little bit over 30 seconds left. Now it's Beaulo shooting again. Nate finding Ashn, isolating these players. These short altercations not working out for Spacestation. They are getting picked apart. Foltz, the only player from Spacestation on the board, and as he's the last one standing, he's the only one who's going to be able to make some noise. The Hibana of NJR running in, and you saw him run through the smoke. How did you... I mean, at least I thought you did, and then you back up, and the Hibana was there. It was a little puzzling.
Keep working.
There were a lot of targets to find.
Maybe the smoke populated differently on his screen, but DZ off to the races, and they take round number 1.
Big impact in that round. It was beautiful to see. We've got a spawn peek attempt now from J90.
And he nails it. No Pamba party today. Say goodbye to the DMR. Say goodbye to the logic bombs as well. There's backup with the Deimos, but usually they are used in conjunction. That means that for the death marks, of which 3 will eventually be available for Kobe, he's only got 1 at the moment. The mute jammers of SSG will be even more powerful and will deprive DarkZero of greater information. It's a devastating loss.
Forrest's goal will be to bandit trick this single wall, while at the same time potentially calling for his teammates to get aggressive outside of it. Nitro goes over the main breach, but it finds nobody at all. The wall being kept closed by the Tuberau, but it's only a matter of time. It's unlikely they'll actually be able to destroy that exothermic charge. They do have 3 more nitro cells if they want to use one to try to go over the wall, but that seems very unlikely. It'll go for Kobe instead. That's what you want. That's much better value, and I think it actually also got the exothermic charge. So, you know, I didn't think it'd see it, but there it goes. Perfect utility play from SSG.
Nice duality of these teams. Round number 1. Round 1 very defiant for DarkZero, very dominant. Now it's SSG all the way down. There's only a single kill, I think, from Foltz in round number 1, and now DZ finding themselves where they might not even be able to get one. Next best opportunity is Nafe asserting himself on yellow stairs. 1 player from SSG was close by, but has fallen off of this position. Now is Beaulo on the bottom of yellow stairs. Looks deep into the bomb site, but all of SSG appears missing. The entry for Beaulo will now get tougher as a goo mine has been thrown out towards the door. I'm sure he's got a hunch that there's somebody over by pipes.
Still 2 nitro cells if they go for a plant.
Smokes and firebolts go out, and this is a great spot for Foltz. Tucked into a rat corner. Down goes Nafe. Beaulo inside of the same position on yellow. He could pre-fire to his heart's content, but nobody from Space Station will give him any quarter at the moment. He's got 1 smoke remaining. A lineup as he sees the head of 1 player. Default cam was still up until a second ago as well, so troubling position for the soon father-to-be of Beaulo. He's got nothing at the moment.
I don't think he's going to win the round.
I think that's a very good assessment. Nice shot on the Ashn, denying Space Station a flawless round.
Here's the entry. Pamba on the Ying. Makes some space, but doesn't actually find the head of it. There's a shot for sure, though. Nate managed to get that pickup. Answered back by Ashn.
Pambazoo could have the cross now inside of console office. Ashn was the intended target. Nate gets there first, and a nice kill from J90, holding the door frame. Through the soft wall, Benja taking out NJR as now the 3 players of SSG with an advantage of 1 will listen for the sound of the diffuser as Nafe gets the plant down. He and Kobilax are the last 2 standing. Was that 3rd highest rated player at the event for Nafe? He's off to a good start with objective play. Kobe Lax is dropped, still retrievable, but Nave likely has another idea, as it's him in a 1v3. 3 kills to his name. He'll need some high-impact kills and will ultimately need to win the round. Assessing his options. SSG will bring the heat to him. Keep one player from Spacestation up above. SSG are a bit too slow, and Nate pulls trigger. Fultz gets the kill and then immediately hops on the defuse kit. He was the player that you said in the pre-match needed to pick it up for Spacestation, and he's done a pretty good job of that so far. Not just in terms of kills, but valuable gadgetry work, and then the counter disable to win the round for Spacestation. What did you find when you crunched those numbers, Jesse?
I found that Monty was the best attacker in the game.
Wow, that is wild.
Yeah.
You need numbers to do that? You have eyes? There go the logic bombs, and Fuse charges on in, but Fultz handles Nave quite effectively. Pambazoo also drops at the hands of J90. NJR on the board, same with Beaulo now. For DZ, 2 separate players coming to life. They wanted to rush into the site, they got it, but maybe not with the result that they were hoping for. There are consequences to these things, Jesse, and the consequence for the actions of DarkZero was death.
They're not done yet, though, Parker. Watch out. They're
not
on the Visa stairs.
They're not all dead, you're correct. Nitro style by Forest will hit Beaulo. I don't know where that was for the Dokkaebi. Oh my. NJR knew Benja was up there. He was shooting at the floor, and Benja just makes it look like another day in the office. Kobe Lax with his very first kill. Almost gets a second, but Ashn hits him with the frog splash off of the table. Just about 16 of them.
Oh, does he?
Yes, I'm from the future.
Unfortunately, he's going to get dropped from DZ.
No, he does both.
He plays for DZ and plays an element.
DZ Academy. Yes, of course. Drop on in now, and the Warden of Ashn, poison ready for the Glass, a Ying as well as follow-up. But through the smoke, Ashn sends some preemptive shells from his shotgun, and oh my goodness. DarkZero dropping into their death, but Nafe is there. Other shield operator we talked about in the previous round of Clash is still on the board, and they've got a read on this gridlock. SSG ready to hit her with the gritty. She's already the slowest speed that you can get in the game, and even slower now. What more can be said than what's being said in the chat by Spacestation?
I'm sure Ashn will add some after the round.
I hope Jinxie's viewers are enjoying this. As far as I saw, he was co-streaming. He's also a streamer for Spacestation, so he's probably enjoying the results, and hopefully his fans are as well, as he cheers on this team.
Simple 90.
Simple.
Is incredibly taxing mentally.
No map control at all. 60 seconds into this round from DarkZero. They are focused on the top floor, but explosives are going both ways. There's a peek coming out, and Ashn hits a great shot onto the captain of DarkZero. Another one goes down. It's Kobe Lax outside, finished off by Forest as well, putting it into a 3v5. The last couple players on DarkZero will enter for a pick. Pamba finally getting active now for DZ, taking control of benches here in the mid-round. There's still a man down, and there are a lot of Spacestation players lurking around the top floor. What can DarkZero do? Their players right now are quite isolated.
You've got to move as a unit at this point. SSG, your win condition right now is just sit around, be patient, let DZ come to you. Maybe don't do whatever Benjamaster was doing. NJR on the skylight with a relatively big opening for this team, and it sets up DZ in a much more winnable situation. Just a little under a minute still left. SSG can sit and wait, but again, DZ needs to try to find isolated engagements. They did on Benja. Another will tilt the scales in favor of DarkZero.
Ashn and Jan, I know, are both top floor. They're going to know now where Pambazoo is top yellow as the Dread Mine catches them out.
A walk in from Beaulo. Suddenly it's Fultz. SSG needed to play together just as DZ did. DZ's coordination tip top. And while this DarkZero team is swept through the top floor, they need to translate that to the bomb site, which is not up there. First drop comes in, second as well. Fultz giving his position away. He's got almost no bullets left. He needs to reload. He doesn't have the time or the wherewithal. NJR secures the final kill, and the first half is in the books. DZ in a deficit. left.
The Tuvarao continuing to find value on the bottom floor of Consulate. Can't quite keep the wall closed. He thought he had a kill, but the Osa shield keeping Forest nice and safe. The Zoto canister did fly out and hit the Zoto, the deployable shield from Osa, but that won't destroy it.
Nafe, the first one to go down, but it's traded right back. I don't know what they were thinking there. The Osa Forest as well, walking into his death. NJR's been dropped, so only 2 defenders remain as Fultz secures with the fire arrow. If you don't want to put yourself in harm's way, use your gadget instead. Very good value for one of those fire arrows to be used to secure the down. Beaulo needs to do double duty, watching both Spiral and the hallway, as Pambazoo has a lock on that server corridor that leads towards the bomb site, a break room, cafeteria, staff room, etc. Teams call it many different things. Who's got the set of eyes, though, on the opening? Beaulo swats away at a drone as there's a Gon 6 to take out some utility that prevents this advance. A smoke in hand. Ashn laying out the path forward for J90 as he sees Beaulo. Do they know there was a glass on the board this entire time? Pambazoo now to watch over towards yellow, using the safety of the pillar. Ashn with diffuser in hand on Thermite. A bit of an odd roll for him, but hey, if it works, it works. Now it's Pambazoo looking for 1 kill over towards yellow, doing a lot of damage to Ashn as the smoke conceals Space Station's retreat. Pambazoo has no idea where these remaining players are. One's over towards Breach, and the moment that Pambazoo tries to long-arm this, he might be exposed. Exothermic charge going off, and Pambazoo pops up, and Fultz sits him right back down.
Shitting! Kobe!
I don't think he's speaking English half the time. It's losing the teller's bomb site on the main floor. That's why you saw SSG line up in that direction. And I think it was Ashn who might have been tasked with that first pick. Drone goes in, and Ashn is spotted by Nafe. How do you miss-drone that? How do you not see Nafe in that position? Logic bombs were going off as well, and he wasn't sitting on top of a mute jammer. That seems like a bit of sloppiness from Space Station, and that's not what you want if you want to move to match point.
Nice shot by Nafe, though. Can't deny that. Still top floor control by DarkZero. They'll use it for a spawn peek late into the round. 90 seconds in, Pamba out the window finds Benjamaster. That's going to be quite an important pick as DarkZero are trying to pull this round disadvantage back now. Looking for their third. It's a 5v3. Starting to enter in the basement. There is a site down here, but Kobe gets alive. Traded by Forest, but I think he'll be very happy with the circumstance he's put his team into. Now it's a 4-on-2. J90 and Forest need to go so aggressive. They've got to find some kind of entry point to claw this one back. I'll say they've got the fuse kit, they've got a logic bomb, and they've got 60 seconds to work with. That's a lot of good resources. But DZ are also not giving up an inch.
How many bullets does it take to hit a default cam, J90? Let's find out together. DarkZero really have been behind in many of these rounds. This is not one of them. A good spread that seemed to frustrate SSG as they struggled to gain map control. Poor drone work guiding Ashn in cost them the very first pick. J90 gets Beaulo as he stands like a statue looking over this hold on, and Forest with a pick as well. Suddenly this round becomes immensely winnable. Forest trying to signal a spot for J90 to get that diffuser down. Forest hearing one, pre-firing away. The follow-up, J90 has to get off, and Forest gets one, and J90 is a sitting duck as NJR creeps ever forward and gets J90 as he pops up. Just as we saw the other way around, sitting him down. Too close for comfort for DarkZero in that round, though.
Yeah, great late round play coming out, obviously from NJR, but it's the early round that puts them into that situation where they're winning it so dominantly to begin with. We saw a problem with DarkZero, where often if their plan was getting disrupted, if they were facing obstacles that were getting picks onto their teammates early in the round, they couldn't recover very well. I think that attempted recovery from SSG was better than most of the rounds we saw out of DarkZero, but still not good enough. The way that they were able to get those picks in the early round was a little bit too strong. A little bit of discoordination from Forest and J90 as well in that 2v2. You know, Forest wanted him to plant close on the wall. J90 chose a different plant spot. Then he almost finished the plant, Jane, I know, but Forrest was getting off the cover, and so then he had to jump off of it. Maybe he could have finished, but he chose not to, and then they took 2 1v1s instead of a 2v2. I don't know. It was a little awkward. Those are obviously the most difficult situations to play in Rainbow Six Siege, so I'm not going to be too harsh on the guys. That's obviously a high-stress situation as well. And they've got a bit of a buffer, so if those rounds don't always get converted, if you don't always clutch up the 2v4s, I think you'll be all right. They just need to find 2 attacks on Consulate in order to secure themselves a spot in map number 2 with a 1-0 lead, win their own map pick. Once again, the loser of this series will be eliminated from the Montreal Major. Only one of the North American teams fighting right now can continue on to tomorrow.
Honestly, having to say goodbye to one of these teams is a little bit sad. It's never great to say goodbye to a team, period. So far, of the 4 teams that have gone home during the playoffs, because we said goodbye to teams during the play-ins as well, the playoff teams, 3 APAC squads. Yeah. 1 from Japan, 1 from Korea, 1 from Southeast Asia. That is, respectfully, Scars, D+ Kia, and Elevate. And then G2 was actually the first team to go home after a pretty dreadful 1-14 loss against Sonics yesterday. Saw some of the G2 players in the lobby earlier today, by the way, and, well, safe to say none of them looked particularly happy with that early exit.
Because they lost.
Yes, that's
they lost
okay.
every game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's a main floor bomb site, but the top floor will be where the bulk of the defenders are at. SSG not interested in clearing them out horizontally. Instead, from below seems to be the game plan. Some missed shots, though. The bars stealing a kill away from Fultz. He's down to 7 HP. Pamba did get downed in this chaos. And they're starting to hunt for the Legion now with the Deimos tracker, but they've got to be very careful without the HP. Pamba gets picked up on the top floor as they start to make their entry to the site.
This is a huge utility dump with a little bit over a minute on the clock remaining. Fultz is the only person who's been down so far, though DarkZero has taken some serious lumps. Fultz now retrieved. The scramble for SSG and all of that utility ultimately finds them nothing.
How is nobody dead?
Look.
There we go.
I don't have answers to these questions. Kobilax dies, 2 and 8. Really not where a player of his capabilities and his role needs to be at this current point in time. NJR's woken up though. Beaulo having a respectable game as well. Slowly but surely, SSG are running out of time. They found 1 pick, and then for the next 30 seconds, they've attempted to get into the bomb site. Beaulo's littered the way with goo mines, slowing the advance. He and Nafe doubling up with a kill apiece. SSG bleeding out. A nice flick over from NJR onto J90, and my God, SSG just seemingly dying left, right, and center. Ashn and Fultz on a sliver of HP, and both of them are gone. DayZ closing the gap between themselves and Spacestation. He's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Interesting from NJR. That's not a mistake. That's clearly him being deliberate and choosing not to use that final Zoto canister. Might be wanting to save it in case of a late round Deimos track coming out. Not that it's being brought by SSG, but he wouldn't know that. Might also want to be throwing it at the planter when they try to run in and maybe get a plant down. Find it a little bit easier to land the nitro cell. Instead, it looks like a lot of this push is actually coming in through the back. Look at Forrest entering in through server on the only shield left in the game. At the same time, Ashn does get taken down by Kobilax, though.
This Clash erasure.
You're right. I'm forgetting about Clash, but you don't see a ton of Clash on the basement.
The Nook has really not worked for Spacestation now. This is the second time that an operator whose whole gadget is built around being concealed from cameras, getting droned in, finding an opening, slipping under the radar of your opponents, and yet Ashn continues to get found on that Nook in the wrong direction. Fultz dies now, 2. That's the highest kill total on the side of Spacestation. No more. Diffuser in the hands of Forrest with that shield. DarkZero well primed with 30 seconds remaining to tie this game, and oh my. With shots like that from NJR, it's hard to beat him. The mayor himself with 11 kills at this point. Nice shot on the J90. He knew exactly what he wanted. And now it's up to Forrest to stop DZ from winning a flawless round. Cross body onto NJR. One shot to the head is all it takes, but they immediately trade it out. So while not a flawless win for DarkZero, good engagements, he often finds himself on the winning side of a duel. Now, there have been times in the past where that safe style of play has been labeled somewhat derisively as scared and too cautious. Panbazoo, on the other hand, well, he's a player who likes to take chances. And he does. Cutting Benjamaster and the Hibana off a wire on the admin windows and immediately runs back inside of the map.
Unless he got one earlier, that'll be Pamba's first opening pick on the defense of the entire tournament. He's been really struggling as a roamer to get active in the early round. He's been negative on all of these fights he's taken so far. Jumping out the window, finds one, looks for two. Oh my God, it was Beaulo. Wasn't Pamba. Beaulo was right behind him.
This happened a few times in the matches that you and I have casted where a player will fire and we'll see the silhouette and then somebody else is credited with this kill. Oh my. Fultz down the stairs, he and Forrest collaborating for 2 picks. There's some chatter on the side of SSG. Forrest scared Beaulo off of his position on the stairs. He's also got the mute of Nafe not far back inside of servers. You've got to get the case if you're on the side of Spacestation. Look at these reflexes by Ashn. A second slower and he would have killed Beaulo as well as he walked up those server stairs towards Teller. He's an opportunity now. Beaulo winning the engagement though, unleashing the Deagle to secure the kill. All the while, time working against Spacestation as Fultz is outside with very little to show for this. This is SSG's map, and DarkZero is about to take the lead, and what a time it would be for DZ. DZ has only led for a single round, and that was round 1, Jesse. Since then, they've either been tied or trailing.
Oh my God, bro, let's go.
Kobilac setting the scene for us. One more round. That's all. Pattern recognition. It's a fun little defender sandwich with the attackers being the bread.
Also would be back-to-back games where SSG throw massive round leads. It was 5-1 yesterday against Virtus Pro. It was 4-1 here against DarkZero. They don't want to be able to repeat history. This is going to be awkward. They've not made much of a move so far. They've not taken top floor control. They don't really look to be pushing through top floor. Instead, it's likely that this push will come horizontally. And interesting, this is going to just be for soft breach, and then the pick comes out from Nafe. Excellent usage of that pulse scanner. Nafe will find Benja as the opening pick, all thanks to that utility. I brought it up at the very start of this round. Pulse has been an operator that we've seen kind of fall off with the meta, but he still has his uses, and this is undoubtedly Pulse's best map. Nafe showing how sometimes it's the Pulse above the players rather than below that can get good value. 50 seconds on this clock. SSG, 5 kills to find with only 4 bodies to do it. Bomb site's the main floor.
Grenade will go out, as Ashn was not intending for a player to be there. Oh my goodness, what a shot on the NJR. Again, this cautious player playing on a sheltered style of play. Kobilac absorbing a lot of damage, but still alive as he gets rid of Ashn. J9O from above, eliminating Beaulo. Diffuser going down in the hands of Forrest. 3 players from DarkZero to watch over that case. As Forrest drops, and J9O follows shortly thereafter. Fultz again in a clutch or kick scenario. Right now sitting inside of the closet. Nafe on Diffuser. There's not 1 but 2, and Fultz immediately vacates the premises. Panbazoo, though, on the jump out, and barring some catastrophic act of God, DarkZero will get on the Diffuser for the counter disable. DZ stealing Spacestation's map.
You're right about Kobilac in particular. 4 and 10's not what you want to see from the young pickup. However, he started to heat up at the end. The last couple of rounds in that matchup were some of his best. And if he can continue that momentum onto map 2, onto map 3 if they need it, all of a sudden DarkZero looking very scary. A lot of that being NJR still undefeated on those opening gunfights as well. So for DZ wanting to maintain that in this matchup against Spacestation, I believe they were even, is that correct, in our last game? Wow. Shot from Pamba.
Sorry, production was in my ear talking about something else. What was your question?
Were they even on opening picks in our first map? 50% for DarkZero, 50% for SSG. That's my understanding.
Let me take a look.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Thank you. And now they won't be even because DarkZero will get one. And as I said on Consulate, Pamba had yet to find a defensive opening pick through the entire tournament. Now he's gotten a few.
That was very exciting that you asked me a question about numbers. Please continue to do that, by the way.
That's a one-time thing.
That's a number. I like this.
Okay.
Ashn cannot be the first casualty for SSG. His numbers were not the worst on the team, but were quite bad. Forrest has a read, by the way, on that under-barrel sight. It was not Beaulo, because I don't believe J90 got a kill on the bottom. Blue from outside of the building. Oh my! Nafe blinding Forrest with that gas, and then following up with the shotgun. Full signal. Kobilax and Nafe holding court inside of Blue. He can't go for a third, though, as J90 pounces upon him. Where could it be? You found it. Tucked into the various nooks and crannies that are above the stairs leading down to Blue. DarkZero with 2, SSG with 2. 35 seconds remain in the round.
He's done a lot of good work on the floorboards thanks to this ram, but now they've got a plant on a 2v2. They don't have any smokes to cover, so this clash could do a lot of good work. Can NJR or Pamba stop the plant? It's probably going to come down from the bookshelf, being held right now by Faults.
J90 up top with Fultz all alone. He needs this upstairs coverage. It's a slow peek. J90 allows Panbazoo to slip through the cracks, and it's Panbazoo with the sidearm out to do the rest of the work. As J90 was caught transitioning over towards where Fultz was getting that plant down, and he was just a little bit too slow. DZ looked like they'd lost the plot of that round, but they found it in time. We've got a brief tech pause as there's an issue with a headset on the side of SSG. They'll sub it out. Got a headset issue with Kobilax earlier on. Now, in the past, Jesse, you filled this downtime by talking about things such as, oh, I don't know, islands.
Sure.
All of these players, well, with the exception of one, come from North America. There's one player in this lobby who's from an island. Can you name him?
Nafe, but there's 2 players in this lobby not coming from North America.
Who's the other one?
Benja.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Benja was from Copenhagen. That's right.
He's not from Copenhagen. He's from the city of Odense. On an island, actually, in Denmark.
Oh, shut up.
So that's 2 islanders in this game. Yes.
Is that true?
The city of Odense. I think the 3rd largest city in Denmark.
Benja Master actually is from the Sun. If you saw when he played domestically, I'm assuming he's at the SSG facilities.
Yeah, I believe
which are in Salt Lake City, or at least in Utah. Are you going to fact check me again? Or are you going to say, oh, it's actually not Salt Lake City, it's in suburb?
I can't fact check you because production is fact checking me that Odense is not the 3rd largest city in Denmark. It's something else that I can't pronounce. We have a Danish production team coming from
they also just told me it. I'm not even going to attempt. I'm not going to try to speak this language.
We can't get away with lying about Denmark on this stream.
For people who watch this broadcast, I'm from Toronto, you are from Edmonton. Neither of those cities speak French. And despite Toronto in particular having a lot of languages that you'll hear on a daily basis, I barely speak English. Same with you.
Yeah.
So we certainly don't speak other languages. Meanwhile, most of our producers are Danish or are currently living in Denmark. And they speak 2, maybe 3 languages. And a lot of them speak English better than us. And then they say the names of the places in Denmark, and I say, I don't want to insult you by attempting to pronounce that because I know I'm going to do a poor job. And in all the times that I've been in Denmark, and we lived in Copenhagen for a couple months, I got to say, outstandingly beautiful country, great culture, very walkable. I enjoyed it. The Danish people were very nice, which I was warned might not be the case. I was told that they can be quite blunt and direct, and sometimes that comes across as rude. I did not find that.
No, me neither.
I quite enjoyed my time in Copenhagen. I don't want to do the disrespect of trying to pronounce a place in that country, Denmark, and then, you know, have them say that's not even close.
Well, we won't make you.
Thank you, Jesse. I really appreciate that.
For this round,
I hope they understand.
The Dane is going to be playing on that Deimos, an operator we talk about quite a bit in Rainbow Six Siege. Deimos, that's pretty good. That's you should write that down.
I'm writing it down right now.
Benja going to be using those trackers to try to spot out some of these more isolated players on the side of DarkZero. Of course, we have a few up here around Library. Force will once again get caught by a beeper over by the staircase. The castle barricades make the job a little bit harder as Zombie's been banned out, but castle does much the same job. That's why we bring a Flores, that's why we bring an Ash, that's why we bring an Ace. Here's the first track now on to Kobilax. Can they convert it to a frag as he's distracted by the Flores drone? So far, no.
Loses the deployable shield as well. That would give you some coverage if you wanted to emerge from closet over towards master side of things.
There we go.
They must have caught it the moment he started hitting it, because I was like, it seems like it's taking a long time to get rid of this castle barricade.
Yeah.
Fewer hits are needed to get rid of those castle barricades now, and oh my, J9O suffering a bit of damage from Pambazu. They both do. As there's the death mark on to Pamba inside a bathroom. Quite bold that he's not even bothering to move, by the way. Usually you want to see some level of action here. Well, my Magnet's catching one of the smokes tossed out by Forrest, as now he controls office above. Ashn in the right side of the first engagement this time. Now J9O also on the board. Ashn with yet another DZ falling by the wayside. Benja's been dropped. The Dane must be retrieved. It's technically a flawless round for Space Station because nobody finished off Benja. I like seeing players feel jilted when they lose. I like seeing players bitter when they get dropped. I think it adds a certain spice to an esport because passion is passion, and these players are so passionate. You know they don't like losing, but when they try to put on a brave face, it seems often inauthentic and insincere. Nave went for a jump out, by the way, just moments ago, and he was met with an early demise by a Claymore, so no active player in the engagement. But still, he loses his life, and that's an advantage for Space Station with 2 minutes to go. Small disadvantage for Space Station as they'd used a Selma onto that upstairs office wall, and Beaulo very easily handled both of those charges, thus preventing Space Station from getting a line of sight or even entry to that part of the map.
Dave jumping out, playing a risky move, but obviously he knows what he's doing. He's playing the castle, not a lot of util that's going to be lost. Ashn, that's a bit more of an important one. You find Beaulo, not because the frost mats were going to be used later in this round, but because now it's a two-man advantage, and you take out one of the most talented players, the former world champion. Beaulo eliminated from this round. Makes it a 5-on-3, and there's still so much util on the side of Space Station. Another run out from Pamba, but he does retreat back inside the site. We've still got Capital bolts from Fault. We've still got 4 flashes on the shield from Forest. We've still got 2 flashbangs in the pocket of Benja, and still 2 stuns and an explosive in the pocket of J9O as well. They've got so many resources to kill these last 3 players. Not a lot to find them. That's going to be the job of the drones instead. They didn't bring a Dokkaebi, they didn't bring a Deimos. Instead, they're going to have to clear the majority of this map, check their angles, and other than active pings on players that are leaving the map, it's going to be relying on that to find the picks.
Pambazu eliminating Fultz. DarkZero, though, not really having much else to show for it. And now things will get tougher for the 2 remaining players on the purple side of the board, as Forest, with the shield in hand, will be breathing down their neck with very little notice. Nitro Cell goes off, NJR slaughtered by Ashn, who finds his 3rd kill in the round. Kobilax struggling in map number 1. Their struggles continue in map 2. SSG takes the round in map number 1.
Wasn't the greatest result for him and his fans.
Didn't he DM you at one point and said he thought you did a great job on the desk? Is that you?
Yeah, we talked a little bit after SI, and then there was a bit of a show match that we casted together as well, Twitch Rivals. That was on his channel that I got to experience.
Well, besties, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That's so great. I'm glad you have a friend.
Thank you.
Don't have many of them these days, do you?
They've all left me, Parker. They've all left me.
They've left for greener pastures outside of Edmonton. Ashn and Benjamaster with 2 very early kills. We are not even a minute into the round. And SSG is just demolishing DarkZero. DZ had that good first round. Since then, SSG have found a 5th or even 6th gear.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same proximity alarm, by the way. And the same toxic canister being set up in those beams above the stairs. This is exactly what Nafe did in the very first round, and he found great success in that spot.
He did. He was hugely impactful. We often talk about NJR as the SES player on DarkZero, but Naif is just as good with it. Can he do it against the Blitz, though? It's the other side of the map now. Funnels down and finds Beaulo to start things off. 2 more now. This is going to be a tough one to pull back, even with some great players like NJR and Naif. When you're in a 2v5, it's always going to be tricky.
SSG are primed to get 2 rounds back-to-back, 1 flawlessly. Oh my, Naif. Another toxic canister goes out. 1 remains in pocket, and with over a minute left, that means Forest can wait out the gas. NJR dealing with players above. Naif 1 kill, so no flawless round. That was Benjamaster, who they tried to get in the previous round. It might have taken them 6 minutes, but they still get him anyway. That's all DZ has to show for that round. Not allowed to say that on television.
Nope.
SSG extending their lead.
Supposed to win that major, obviously. But it was a big enough problem that BDS thought that they had to remove it entirely from the grand finals. As we entered into this next stage, North America and Brazil in particular really started to use these shields more and more and more. They started relying on them a ton, and they got great value out of it. For SSG, they're seeing a ton of that now.
5 rounds, 3 of them where Ashn has got the opening pick, and so far, a 100% conversion rate for the team that draws blood first. For SSG, if that keeps up, this will be a 4-1 scoreline, which is quite impressive and especially good news, given DarkZero used their timeout. And it seems like it might not have had the impact that they were looking for. Kobe, by the way, 0-5. Just a dismal performance with him and Beaulo so far. Tied together, they are boat anchors on this team at a combined 0-9. You don't want any player in round 5 to be without a kill, let alone 2 of them.
Or 3.
Or 3 with NJR as well, who, again, though, plays those safer minutes, so it's not as dire, but still, if you've got 3 players unable to hit a single shot at this point in time in the match, things are not going well. There goes a logic bomb. J90 dies to Panbazoo, one of the few players on DZ who has shown up, one of only 2 for that matter. It's the Ash down, explosives down. Moments before, we'd seen SSG open up the wall into office. It's going to force these DZ players a little bit farther back. The main focus for Spacestation is take control of top floor before moving towards the bomb site in kitchen.
Yeah, I think they're really just going to try to plant under smokes. They don't seem to be that focused on the top floor at the moment. There's 1 smoke with Forest, but if Forest ends up grabbing the defuse kit and planting, he's going to have the shield on his back, and it'll be a much safer plant. That's exactly what they're doing right here, but oh no, shot by Beaulo.
And he gets on the board. There's a way to break that goose egg. Down goes the shield. NJR also breaking it. Beaulo with his 2nd kill onto Ashn. SSG fallen by the wayside. They get the first kill, but it's all they get. As Panbazoo seals the deal on that round. Boy, what a fall from grace it's been from Liquid as they entered this tournament as one of the favorites and just consistently seem to bottle it when given an opportunity to win. Kobe Lax finally on the board. It comes in round number 7, but it must be a sight for sore eyes, as he'll now go on to drone. He still has one of those logic bombs in back pocket as well. Ashn with 8 kills, leading the way on SSG, is no more. Fultz answers back onto Panbazoo, as now Fultz moonwalks his way down blue stairs. Benjamaster also trying to make up for lost time. There's one for Forest. Everybody from Spacestation getting quite active. Almost a team kill from Naif, as well, he doesn't seem to understand that Kobe Lax is side by side. Not a lot of time left for DarkZero to get themselves out of this hole that they've dug themselves in. Another kill from Kobe, and he'll have to find 3 more, but Forest ensures that doesn't happen. Shield operator, and she does definitely have a place in the meta, and especially on Chalet, Jesse. I don't know why teams are fearing bringing this operator. She's especially strong on the bottom floor bomb site.
Yep.
We've played twice by DZ on defense. Brought the first time, the second time they went with a Tubarao instead. They went with a completely different, well, not a completely different lineup, but a very different lineup. The Tubarao was obviously designed to slow down the advances. It did not work. Spacestation won that round. Now Benjamaster using the smart goggles, seeing the Lion, but is worried about getting aggressive. Benja, beautiful transfer for 2. Answered back by Panba, but the damage has been done by this SSG team. Naif on the blitz with just a fraction of his HP remaining. There's no explosives that are left on the side of Space Station, so Nafe does not have to worry about an impact or a nitro cell taking him down, and there's no smoke on the board either. Nafe with his shield turned in towards the bomb chassis. He's got NJR for coverage. NJR finding Ashn. Another swing from SSG deeper inside of the bomb site as now Nafe gets out of the way and has to worry about that dread mine that he can't quite locate. Forrest called up to action through main lobby, but it's NJR to hold that one down. The blitz finished off by Fultz, but two more players to be found. One above him, a kill hole designed to pin Fultz down in this spot. Another player over towards the window as now Fultz will hop on that diffuser. Pambazoo scares him off with just a single hip-fire shot. And time running out for Fultz, he'll have to stick it. But he wants to draw Pambazoo out of this altercation. NJR is still up there as well, and it just as the timer was hitting the point of no return, Pambazoo realizes it, and down goes SSG. DZ win the round. Excellently played in the post plant.
What can they do? We got Blitz NDA.
What can they do?
This is as high as Pambazoo. But they are all above 100 with the exception of Benjamaster. So even though these rounds are currently tied, it's SSG who have been thoroughly the better team, even when they've lost. Obviously, that doesn't amount for anything. Pambazoo could carry this entire lobby to a DZ 7-4, and the EPS is irrelevant. By my, say his name. Pambazoo with the first kill on to Fultz. Goodbye to the Fenrir. Ashn now heading for the hills as he hears the shield from above, and the fall off from SSG is very real. Benjamaster will ensure that there is a painful trail of breadcrumbs behind him. Beaulo catching Benjamaster now down in West Main, and things have gone from bad to worse for Space Station.
Ashn's got to make a play. He can't get back to site. Of course, the hatch is reinforced, but the site's being planted in right now. NJR's putting it on the ground. Meanwhile, they're sprinting with this blitz. Nafe making so much space, so much distraction. He'll get the kill, 2 on J9O. That leaves just 2. Force on the clash, completely irrelevant in this round, and Ashn on the roam, yet to find any impact. Returning to site now. Wants to link back up with Force to try to clutch the 2v5. Finds one through the corner, but tries to confirm it instead of going for Kobe-Lax. That's a mistake. Now Force in the 1v4. Hit by an air jab, and Kobe finishes it off.
Not just finishing it off, Jesse, but a flawless round from DarkZero in the process.
Want to get too ahead of yourselves. On the side of SSG, this organization has never won a major, but they've won something a little bit better with SI, and Fultz was the only player that was on that SI winning roster.
Quite an opening for Space Station. Picking off Beaulo. The Lion charges are very effective at paralyzing this SSG team. You saw it in the previous rounds, how important they are. Nuisance ops that get brought by attackers fall into 3 operators' hands. Deimos, Dokkaebi, and Lion. Those are the operators that are going to paralyze you, they're going to cripple you, they're going to slow you down, and put you in unfavorable positions or hold you in an unfavorable position that the attackers can then capitalize off of. You've still got the Dokkaebi on the board, and there are no mute jammers for DarkZero to worry about on the side of SSG, so Dokkaebi will gain more value. But that 1-2 punch of Dokkaebi and Lion, especially with a Finka and a Blitz on the board, all work together to do some serious harm. Now, it's still entirely possible that some damage can be done, but SSG are firing back. We talked about how important those timeouts are. SSG with 3 uncontested picks and a huge lead with over half of the round to go.
Wow, I mean, Forrest, known for his blitz plays, but his anti-blitz play is just as good. Really well played. He runs away from Nafe from back bar, and just when he's got the right amount of space, when he's baited Nafe to go for the pistol, he shuts it down. Now in a 2v5, turn to a 2v4 thanks to Pambazoo, the best player in the lobby. He's also going to get, or NJR, I should say, could have gotten a hack out on the phone, chose not to do it. There are 2 bulletproofs that they could have gotten intel from, so that's going to be something that the teammates may have wanted. Hard to see with the Deimos, or with the Dreadmine as well. There's a player with the shotgun. Point blank, Pambazoo. The 2v5 turns to 2v3.
I mean, it's very winnable, but you are utility starved on the side of DarkZero. The only thing you have remaining in pocket, 2 Claymores and 2 Flashbangs. That's it. The rest of it is just pure gunplay. Same cannot be said for SSG. J9O's Warden will have those smart glasses. Admittedly, you won't need them at this point for the rest of the round, but you still got those dread mines up for Fultz, and you will still have frost mats somewhere on this map.
Can avoid the flashes from NJR with those glasses.
I suppose that's correct. Big use now over towards blue, and Well, NJR flashed Pambazoo. I'm not sure exactly what the thought process was there. Maybe some communication issues. The bigger headache right now for DarkZero is the clock. Very limited time remains. They're all stacked up in the same position. Now it's all up to NJR. Never mind. Forrest gets the final kill, but all of SSG were prepared for these two players of DZ. There were no clear ways into the bomb site.
Air jabs and the track stingers, that it's not going to be a problem. Half that utility's still in their pocket, though. Look at this. Pamba just putting down his second air jab now. And the third.
Toxic canisters down to 1 as the clash now moves over to Wine. It's got Ashn there for backup, it looked like. Maybe it was J90. Here's a fleeting second that we saw.
Still stalling out with these Toxic Babes. That'll be the last one, as you called.
So my suspicion that this would be a quick one, by the way, was completely off the mark. Ashn and Foltz both striking to get what could be the first kill as they get it at roughly the same time. Now it's Pambazoo wandering in, dying, and what should be an attacker-sided map is favoring the defenders at the moment. One pick, all DarkZero has at the moment, and they will struggle with the deployable shield inside of the site. They did not bring any real soft destruction, and they paid for it. They didn't. Welcoming all the viewers over, by the way, from the B stream is Ashn's controller unplugged on the window, I guess, and gets hit with a question mark in chat by Pambazoo, who is sitting at 16-6, but at 25-15 across both games. Kobilax 8-12, mustering 4 kills in both, or 8-20 rather, 4-10 as a scoreline in both games, and if it ends here, Kobilax might actually have a worse result than he had on his first match. He's catching up to Benja, though. He's only a single kill behind. But Pambazoo is literally willing DarkZero into this match. He has been the best performer by far on this team. One more kill and he would match the total of NJR, Kobe, and Nafe combined. Or Beaulo, since he's on 4 kills. Only 3 remain for SSG. And it's a run through the jungle for Foltz now as he's downstairs in a Nitro cell to potentially rebuff this. He gets Kobe. Down goes the glass. NJR had died earlier. This is winnable for Spacestation. Beaulo swatting away at Foltz. As this is a prolonged case of action, Jesse, with half the round still to go. Down goes Beaulo to J90, and now he takes some damage. As it's Nafe on the ground, it's up to Pambazoo to clutch in a 1v1. Him and Forrest battling each other. Forrest securing the kill on the Nafe, but Forrest wins it! Pambazoo can't get it all done. Get the man some help. Forrest up and immediately over to talk trash to the face of DarkZero.
DarkZero to get kills on a third player. We saw the majority of their team not putting up even a single frag until I think it was round 3 or 4 when finally DZ were able to get some more of those frags.
Took DZ's map. Neither of these teams picked Cafe, so in a way, this is kind of Switzerland, but actually Russia, but kind of Switzerland, you know? Oh my. That took far more bullets for Forrest than you would have thought. NJR goes for the run out, looking for a 3rd kill for DZ, but he's met with the Claymore and an instant death. Meaning neither of these teams, despite one team drawing first blood, gain any advantage whatsoever.
So it's neutral, it's even.
Like Switzerland.
Wow.
But Russia.
3 players left on DarkZero, spread across the south side of the map. Pamba's on the white stairs. You've got Beaulo inside a fireplace, and then Nafe and Train. None of them directly holding top floor, though Pamba's not too far off. SSG are discovering that fact as they drone through the top floor now. DarkZero, they don't seem too eager at all to retake top. They think they've got good chances here in the 3v3. 2 Toxic Babes to help them out. And a close-range shotgun being held by Pamba as well. They've got everything that they need. It's about execution right now for both of these squads. For me, it could go either way.
It's been an oddly paced round. All of this action happening earlier on. Now a grenade goes sailing down into that rat spot. And not far removed from pillars. Foltz eliminating Pambazoo. That's Foltz's 2nd kill. Now he walks his way up white. He'll surrender the diffuser in the process. Inhaling some of the gas is J90, but his position is given away. It's all up to Benjamaster in a 1v2. Nafe credited with that kill. Benjamaster, now known as he's not going to be able to get the diffuser, but has to go for picks in the meantime. through the soft wall, not able to find anything. 3 players still alive as the clock hits 0, and DZ, because of it, wins the round. Map in the map pool with 104 rounds. My God, Pambazoo almost got 2 kills with that jump out, just narrowly missing out on the head of another player from SSG, but he was able to take down Benja in the process. Benja's struggles have been discussed by you and I on this broadcast quite a lot over the last 2 to 3 hours. They are not getting any better through 2 rounds of Cafe, but there's time for him to turn it around. But back to the stats before Pamba went with the jump out. 104 rounds played on Chalet, 104 rounds on Cafe, but obviously Cafe will go back to being the 2nd most played map and will likely jump over Consulate as well to become the most played map at the tail end of this series. It is the 2nd most defender-sided map based on wins. That is good news for DarkZero. They should be able to take the first half 4-2 because it is quite lopsided. Of the rounds played, 61% won by the defenders, 39% won by the attackers. The only map that is more defender-sided is the map that Cafe will likely jump over, which is Consulate. So the 2 most defender-sided maps played so far in this series.
2 days ago when DarkZero played Elevate on this map, they won just 1 of their 6 defenses. That obviously resulted in a map loss to the APAC team.
I love that sloth skin, by the way. I really I think it's great.
It's very funny. I'm a big fan.
I do not stan R6 share skins. I don't really care what teams do what. I've been paid by Team Liquid to do a couple of their R6 share stuff, so obviously it'd be some inherent bias, I suppose. But I love that sloth skin for DZ. I think it's one of the best team skins of the game. There it is. And it's on the MP5. It's a great gun.
It is. It's a very good gun. It's a very good gun. We saw J90 even rocking the old Disrupt Gaming skin, his old org that he used to play alongside NJR.
Huge. Disrupted the process, baby. They disrupted it so much they got bought by Astralis.
They did.
The marketplace disruption. Extreme Home Makeover upstairs with the sledge. As Ashn looks for a pick, he cannot find it, but J90 with that DG skin, as you talked about, getting 1 pick. Folt's getting the diffuser down, by the way, as Beaulo and NJR are now summoned into action. Beaulo stimming himself up to live through the fire as SSG scrambles to get into position in the post plant. Beaulo dropped, stimming himself back up yet again, but he dies all the same. NJR last man standing, Ashn finishes him off, and the yelling begins.
You fucking baldy! What the fuck are y'all doing?
And historic orgs in the history of the game. If DarkZero wins this match and SSG goes home, the games will be VP DZ, Virtus Pro and DarkZero, with only one of those teams making it to the main stage, and then Black Dragons and Chiefs as the other match. If SSG wins this map, it will be Virtus Pro versus Chiefs, and SSG will play Black Dragons.
Wow.
No matter what happens, Sonics and Liquid is locked in.
It's going to be a great game. I mean, all of those matches sound exciting, Parker. Whoever wins this is going to be in for a tough game tomorrow, no matter what.
That's just based on the info we have right now, by the way. Sure. That could change. That's what we've been told from the admins so far. If anything does change, it'll be addressed on air.
For now, though, of course, 1 step at a time. You've got to get to tomorrow before you worry about who you're facing up against. And this is a 5-on-5, 45-second execute. We're still working in through bakeries. The blitz runs on in. The Damos covers from above. They've got a track onto the player back inside the bakery, but he loses the fight regardless. NJR, a brilliant headshot.
The hits are back by Forrest on that shield. Forrest rocking the blitz, just as we saw from the previous map. Benjamaster was downed inside a freezer, and Pambazoo will put him on ice. Now the buck from above, taking damage from the shotgun of Pambazoo. That's the ITA primary, which does pack quite a punch. SSG have only been able to take down NJR. Kobe's terrible day will continue. As Forrest is bleeding out, it's all up to Jack to save the round. The 3 remaining players from DZ could play safer roles, but Nafe himself will get it done. On entry, Kobe is 2-5, Benja is 2-4. In terms of cost, they both sit at 54%. These are dreadfully bad numbers.
Yeah.
Survival rate for Kobe Lax is 12%. The next lowest on the team is 27. Benjamaster, 19% survival rate. Next lowest on the team is 27. Everybody then almost at 40% after that. They are lagging behind not just their own numbers, but their team's numbers, and both of these teams are worse off because of it. If either of these players can wake up, Jesse, this can become an entirely different match.
Yeah, that's exactly the point, right? I mean, if either of these players start getting hot, all of a sudden, we've no longer got an even game between these two titans of North America. So keep an eye out for both of them because they have the opportunity to light up the scoreboard at any moment. We've seen both of them do it before. Benja, of course, a world champion MVP. We've seen him do some ridiculous things in the past. Kobe, a little bit newer to this scene, but still very capable. Top floor at the moment being controlled by SSG. They've forced back almost everybody inside of DarkZero, with the exceptions of NJR and Beaulo. A lot of these players, though, still are pushing them backwards. The very top floor, still SSG being torn apart with the sledge.
How is everybody alive and almost nobody's had any damage done? And there's 20 seconds left in the round. What is happening between these two teams, Jesse? Ashn with 1 kill, but Beaulo died. J90 is dead. There's 10 seconds left. 7 players are still alive in the server. This is going to be absolute chaos. It's anybody's guess as to who wins. Foltz with getting diffuser down. There goes the yokai. And Nafe from downstairs in kitchen wins the round. An utterly bizarre showing between these two teams. Admittedly, a very defender-sided map should result in a late plant going down. For SSG, that makes sense, but how did you not find any kills in the process? The nuke paying off! Jack almost going for more than 2. The Deagle looked for a 3rd. It was hungry, but Beaulo managing to get the kill on Danuk. What a great entry from J90. It's bought SSG a lot of time. It's bought them an opening with 2 minutes to go. They can figure out where these last 3 players of DarkZero are positioned.
Importantly, they kill the Warden, who can see through smokes, and they kill the Valkyrie, who would be having a Nitro cell that can blow up a player inside of smoke. That's going to make the job of the Capitao so much better. Force will be impactful in the late round when they go for these execute. Of course, they've got to get to that point. Pambazoo is so hungry to get an equalized kill, but they're not offering it to him. Falls on the staircase. Here's the gunfight now. Still can't take it. Pamba, very cautious. Doesn't want to overextend, but he gets punished now as Benja drops the hatch on top. Now it's a 4v2.
4v1, it's just Beaulo, Jesse, and Foltz sweeps through that. What is going on in this matchup?
Gee, you're really worried about momentum from them as well. They won the last round. If they win this one, get it to 3-3, then they move to defense. They won 5 of their defenses yesterday against Virtus Pro on this very map. Despite the fact they threw that game and did lose it, their defenses were very good. You can't deny that.
VP never really give up, so it's hard against a team like them. All the teams that are left at this event, by the way, are good enough to punish you if you take your foot off of the metaphorical gas.
Yep.
Benjamaster died just moments ago. So DarkZero draws blood first.
This is awkward. The Claw on Freezer Hatch doesn't really have a good counter at this point. You've got no EMPs. The IQ maybe could have spotted up the Claw to shoot it, but now it's going to be really tough to open up that Freezer Hatch. You've got the can openers on Ashn, but that might force her hand a little bit. If you can't drop through the hatch, oh, the Habana.
They got it.
Nice. Selma's even, not Habana.
Completely different operator.
Similar things.
You've already got glasses. What's your excuse? Not that I've ever said anything wrong ever in broadcasting history.
They get the job done.
When there is a tricky electric claw, you can blow up around the bomb site. It really does help an awful lot. Exothermic charges are great for that. Selmas can also do it in a pinch. Ashn destroying Nafe's ankles, completely gutting through his leg. Goodbye to the Kaid that was holding down the fort, and now Forrest, fearless, as he's flying through the bomb site, tucking into the corner to get the diffuser down. And this will be successful. 8 players still alive. Diffuser goes down. And what a post plant this will be for DarkZero. Looking to hold on If SSG can take 3 rounds on attack of the second most defender-sided map, boy oh boy, will things be good once they swap sides. Kobilax finding 2. Those are high-value kills. He'll hop on the diffuser as well. Forrest running on in, watching as Beaulo governs over him, and what a huge round from Kobilax. There's been so little from him so far, but he shows up in the clutch moment for DarkZero.
Right hit. They are not looking to take much map control. They've got the smokes, the glass, the blitz, everybody ready to make some noise. Pamba up above, likely just a distraction with those boogie drones.
Time and time again, teams think that this means you can just go for a linear execute, but if you don't stay far enough back, if you don't have somebody watching upstairs, and most importantly, if you don't drone out small bake, you're gonna be in serious trouble. That's 2 toxic canisters used. In comes the shield. Nath dies. Kobilax is gone as well. Everything working out for SSG as they rebuff these attackers. Look at the HPs on the side of Spacestation, Jesse. They haven't really been dealt a bad hand. Benja dies. Of course, it's Benja first to die.
Okay.
Unlucky for SSG.
He got his impact, though.
Benja's had a good game. I just mean, of course, in terms of the way these games are playing out, it's going to be him the first to die. Ashn crossing the window onto NJR, and now it's Panbazoo, who's having a mortal game, sitting at 5-5. Panbazoo 32-21 on this series, plus 11. He is the only positive player on DarkZero, by the way.
Yikes.
The next closest is Beaulo, who is 19-19. Meanwhile, 4 players on Spacestation sitting at a positive KD at the moment. What more is Pamba to do? How does he get himself out of this position? Lots of time still to work, but you can see a couple players of SSG just getting a little bit closer to his position of Nath. An operator that is honestly so seldom seen at this level, and it's the first Monty of this map. SSG did not use the Monty at all. Ran with a blitz on 2 separate occasions. Ineffective entry by DarkZero. We talked about how NJR is usually such a cautious player, a smart player.
Yeah.
He enters with limited information, he dies. NJR now sitting at a 2-7 scoreline.
His first opening death of the tournament, unless he got one on the earlier maps that I forget about. Again, he'd have been perfect coming into this one. Doesn't get into many of those opening engagements, but now off the board. Still curious about Pamba if he's going to be able to find an entry point. He's just lurking on the bottom floor at the moment. Red stairs will be where he's positioned. Ashn ready to watch for that play. DarkZero taking their time, mostly still on the roof. They can move their way to this top floor when they feel comfortable with it, unless they lose their lives to the white stairs. J9O is very cautiously playing in this position. Nath will drop now, and so the clear of the top floor will begin, but there's nobody from SSG up here.
There's another interaction, as it looked like they were going to sweep through the bottom floor as the defenders were rotating, but Panbazoo gets caught in the midst of the bomb site. That's where a nuke is going to be, so it stands to reason that the Danish op would get picked off. Just had to, after the talk of Daneland,
Yeah.
I needed to say the Danish op.
No, yeah, good.
I hope you understand.
Yeah, I do.
That's good. It's very unusual to see the LMG, by the way, in the hands of the IQ. Beaulo removed by Forrest. Now it's the Monty and the Nomad as the last 2 remaining. And look at prone player underneath, still waiting there. Ashn dealing with Kobilax, and Fultz takes care of Nath.
You get fucking louder. Kobe! You are not voting! Your moment fucks you up!
Gadgets.
That's how the recruit works.
That's, yeah. That's,
Yeah. Here's the jump out the window I was looking
Oh,
for.
and he misses it. NJR is prepared and ready. The second jump out. The Claymore will get the down, but the thing is that with a Rook, you can pick yourself back up. With a Doc, you can pick yourself back up, but they're both dead. So, I mean, it's going to be a little bit harder. All of these players still have access to Rook armor. This is a much better entry now from DarkZero. They called a timeout. They seem to be quite poised. How did Benja lose that engagement? Now it's all up to Fofoson with the Supernova and the Bearing 9 in hand. Through the soft wall, he pivots over towards Kobe. Pamba Pambazoo sealing the deal. They did crank it.
We're unlikely to see any gunfights just because it's a full anchor strat from SSG. They're really going from full crank to no crank, as this is a very passive strategy. Unless we see a late round flank, which, given the ops, seems unlikely, they're kind of content to let DarkZero have these top 2 floors, work on the floorboards with the Buck, work on it with the Ram, and hunt for those picks. They're confident in their ability to lock down this site 5v5. No Nitro cells, no Echo. It's only Toxic Babes to actually deny this plant. Even though they have operators like Warden and Kaid who could have brought C4s, they chose not to bring it.
I mean, Monty's been open this whole time as well, and he's been brought one time.
Yeah.
The most powerful operator. You did crunch the numbers. You came to that conclusion, and yet we just don't see him. I mean, there was a time a long time ago where when Lion was banned at basically 100%, teams still wouldn't bring him when he was available because you didn't scrim with him. You didn't use him. I very much doubt the same is there for Monty, but you never really know. Nave taking a lot of damage as the gas will linger inside of Small Bake, and now the Deimos mark on the Forest. Pambazoo will be credited with the kill, though it was Kobe-Lax who was using the gadget to find his position. Kobe having 2 huge kills as a defender and the counter disable to win the round, and has done very little since. Oh my goodness, Benjamaster with 2 very quick kills. SSG as Benjamaster finds another. Ashn with the final kill onto NJR. What a huge round for Benja.
Let's fucking go. Good fucking shit.
3 and math tell you that.
It did.
Very worth it. Again, just to talk about the numbers. Pambazoo is the only positive player on DZ. Beaulo dies at the hands of Ashn. A swing in on White Stairs. They thought they had something going for it. Another Monty on the board for DZ as well as it encroaches on the space. A Nitro cell tossed out. Pambazoo taking a lot of damage. Nafe will re-aggress. And an explosion will go off. Not enough to damage and kill them, but enough to seriously limit their HP. J90 has died, so there's at least 1 kill from DarkZero. But it's SSG very firmly in control at this point. Playing far enough back, very graciously letting DarkZero take that top floor, Jesse. No. Pambazoo dropping Nafe. These are the silly little mistakes that a team that is fighting for its life, that has let their opponents get into their head, will make. A couple more of those and it's lights out for DarkZero. SSG will be very glad to accept anything that DZ does wrong.
Up above now, full control still being held by SSG. This time is going very low. DarkZero are going to be pushing with less than 30 seconds to go. Could be less than 20. Ashn starts it with a pick onto Nate. That's the Monty down, and he finds another. Ashn! 4 kills through the round! He's just going to find NGR for the ace, and he's looking for it. No,
through the wall, Jesse. Hitting every goo mine on the way. Bogged down, swamped by faults, but it was Ashn to stun us in that round. Match point, series point, SSG. Quite a controversial move in the offseason, dropping their long-term IGL of Canadian, picking up Kobe to replace him, and giving the team over fully to Nafe. And it worked. In the regular stage of the NAL, DZ and Sonics were the 2 best teams after Sonics picked up Canadian as he was unshackled from DarkZero. Sonics are still in this tournament. They play Team Liquid tomorrow. The winner of that matchup goes to main stage. The loser goes home. There's been a lot of comparisons between these teams, Jesse. Both succeeded after the roster moves, and there's no real animosity between the teams, but it's DZ right now facing elimination, and it might be at the hands of Canadian's old team of SSG2. Ashn drops. That's 18 kills in the ground for Spacestation. Nafe is gone from DarkZero. That's all of the logic bombs. Both serious losses to these teams.
Fault's a little isolated here on the top floor. His teammates are all beneath him, with the exception of J90, who is inside a cocktail still. The Candelas, they won't be effective, nor will the smokes up against the Warden of Faults. That could provide a huge opportunity if they think he's blind. Inside a Cigar now, looking for this pick. He drops the hatch instead, gets out with his life. 4v4 though, and still shots firing towards him. Benja, his teammate in the meantime, taking down Pambazoo with a man advantage now.
Oh, J90 breaking through, reducing DarkZero to just 2 players. Beaulo and NJR. Both of them having a rough tournament. Both of them playing below their own skill levels, and SSG looking to exploit that in what could be the final round. Goodbye to NJR. It's all up to the father-to-be, Beaulo himself. You ask, when does Beaulo play? The answer, next event. Forest with the final kill, and Spacestation moves one more day onward.
They will be eliminated today. Their journey ends, and the experiment of dropping Canadian comes to a close. They'll be back to fight for the 6th Invitational on the best team in the world. He steps up big time late, but of course, it's Ashn, the MVP of the day, 18-6 on map 3.